Hey guys, welcome back. We are now on part 7 of our Polar Lights Enterprise build, and we are going to get this ship finally assembled. I'm going to get these wires all soldered together and get the saucer connected to the engineering hull, and then we're going to start on our decaling. So I'll be right back when I got the saucer finally assembled. Alright, we got the lid on this can. We got the tube here for the wires, which are run out here, or rather base rather, and I got my parts in. Space Dock was kind enough to mold me another end cap. Actually, he molded himself another end cap. Not quite sure what he did, but he said he drilled these wrong, the holes in back, or did something. So he molded himself one of these off the other one, and then I did this, and I asked if I could kindly get one from him. So it looks really nice, but unfortunately, the U.S. Post Office decided to squish it. Hard to tell because it's clear. You can see the end there goes down a bit, and you can see it a little better from this angle. It is squished. We're still going to try to use it, I think. I'm going to have to cut this off, and I'm going to cut the end of this off too, because I don't think there's any way I'm going to get the inside of here out. It is really adhered to that. So if I don't use this, because the end is again squished, I'll just put this back on. This will be shorter than that. So it's all me. It's all my mistake, not the kit, not the manufacturer. He also was kind enough to wire me up a flash circuit. Let's see, the little LED there is going off. So this flash circuit has a nice little battery pack thing here. The cool thing about this is I don't need these wires, so I can cut these at any point, probably right where my thumb is, and what I'll do with this is I'll just put some alligator clips on the end of this, and I'll have myself a nice little unit to attach wires to when I need to test instead of having to line them up with the battery, so that'll be nice. So here is the flasher. Let's see if we can get that going for a second or two here. I'm pretty sure these two wires are my flashers. There we go. See that? Can't really see that. Can kind of see that. My hand's in the way of the bottom one. Yeah, the lights are too bright, but they're flashing. Looking good. So what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to get my base set up. I'm going to wire my base up. I'm going to wire this guy up just to have everything ready to go when I plug these in. And then I'm going to take this off with my Dremel, with my cutting wheel. Also take this off of here, my cutting wheel, if I need to. And I guess we'll get this thing in paint. And actually, while this thing is in paint and everything, I think what I'm going to do is start the decal. So I'll be back with my base finished and my decal started. So I thought I'd switch gears and get the base ready. So, we have basic wiring down here. I have my power jack in. I did mount it a little too close to the edge here. It was too tall. It was up like, well, not that far, but it was up like that. It was like kitty wampus. So we got our power jack, we got our main going all the way down to the switch. And here's our main coming off the switch. We have our timing chip in here. These are the power and the ground into the chip, and this is coming out of the chip. So I already stripped those wires off. These things, I love these things. I haven't added the alligator clips yet, but even this works pretty good. So what we're going to have to do here is mount the ship, bring those wires in for the mains, and those will just directly be connected to this. With the flashers, we'll have to do a little bit of maneuvering. We'll have to run wires from these two into these guys, and then we'll have to connect these to those two flasher wires coming down from the ship. A little bit more complicated than I usually do, but nothing we can't handle. It's two basic circuits, so hopefully I don't blow it up. I'm gonna get back to work on the decals, and I'll be back in a second. We have our decals here, rather the back side of the decals. This is where your instructions will be. We have nice big illustrations of the ship, nice big old numbers for your placement. We have little cut instructions for the pylons to cut those decals. And for the top of the primary hull, they want you to cut this section in between the two fins here. So, decal instructions are pretty simple. Soak the decals for 1 minute in room temperature water. You got the room temperature water. Allow decals to relax outside of water for 1 to 2 minutes. That's why we have this here. Talks here about stretching, how to apply it, slide it off the backing. And down here, this little blurb says that it can be used with setting solution. So our microsol and our microset are at hand. We have our cotton swabs, a nice X-Acto blade, scissors. We have two paintbrushes here. One for the microsol, one for the microset. And I think I am ready. So I'm going to get to work on the bottom of the ship. I think I'm going to do the bottom and the two sides, and of course your deflector. But yeah, I think I'm going to do this, wait for that to dry, give that a nice coat of matte clear, then flip it over, mount it on the base. I can mount it on the base at that time. Then I will do the top decals. Looks like it also has the registry decals on here. So let me actually get these out and we'll take a look at them. How about we do that? I'll be right back. Alright, we have 3 decal sheets here, and they're in blue for some reason. They have blue backing paper. This was just a piece of wax paper on the front here. So it's the same thing was on there, just the hull, the lower hull, the primary bottom in here. Looks like we have the upper hull and the pylons and some likely around the bridge, some of the hull, maybe those are the neck, and those are the pylons in there. We have the pie for the saucer. And it looks like this is a lot of the nacelles in here. You can see these patterns in here. So all looks like nacelle stuff. So I am going to get started, and I'll be back when the bottom is somewhere. Maybe I'll stop at the saucer and do an update just as I go along. I'll be right back. We have the decals done here for the saucer. We have the decals done along the back. You will have to cut up this center decal to make room for your stand, your post here. It's not a problem. I just cut out the center and put the two sides on. So we have this is 3 decals. We have a couple of decals here on the fantail. We've got our pylon decals, which went on a lot nicer than I thought they would. The instructions will tell you, and you do want to cut these in half, essentially right here at this line here and here. They will overlap, so don't worry about that. But they went on nice and smooth, and all of these have been going on nice and smooth. I have a couple of coats of microsol on these. But yeah, so be careful in here with your overlap. Make sure you get this lined up. I didn't in a couple of places, but you will because you're awesome. A couple of places up here that it didn't line up either. Okay, so I thought there'd be decals for these little triangle things. There are not decals for these little triangle things. So if you want these little triangle things to be a different color, paint them. I think I'm going to add just a little, after I coat this with some clear coat, I'm going to put a little, I'm going to paint that by hand. So just a heads up. Now, I went on to move up to the nacelles here on the bottom to find, this. Show this off as best I can. You can see I've got handwritten scribbles. That is because 99% of these decals are incorrect. They are not the right numbers. So I had to go and I had to look at the shapes and look at the nacelles and put some up to them and do all kinds of stuff. But I've got this all corrected. So I will put up a supplementary video to this video with all the corrections for the nacelle decals if you got that decal sheet. So I am going to move on to finishing up the nacelles. When that is done, we will take a look at the whole entire bottom side done. Oh, I'm also going to do these. I haven't done these yet. I did do the neck decals though. Yes. Those turned out pretty well too. If I can get them in the light, those look pretty snazzy. So I'm going to finish up wallpaper in the bottom. I'll be right back. Alright, we got our bottom done. Just put a coat of the old Microsol on this. Those decals are setting and conforming very well, as these ones up here did. Yeah, everything's been going very well. Getting everything into place. Little cutting here and there I have to do. Little overhang on the film, but that's not a big deal. So, bottom is done. I'm going to let these dry. I think I'm going to put another coat of Microsol on them just in case, and then I'm going to hit this with a clear coat. Then we'll be flipping her over, getting her on the base. I'll be back with that. Hey guys, I got the model in the base. I got everything wired up, and I've started to hit the top side decals. I got the starboard nacelle. I got a couple on the back, one on the fantail. Thought I should make a video before I get too carried away. Having a blast with these decals, guys. So much fun. They're easy to put on. They look great. I love the look of these Aztecs on here. So I'm gonna get back to work, and I'll be back when I'm done. Hey guys, we have the decals on. This is I'm calling this done. It's not done. We still have to replace our little guy back here, but for this video it's done. I mean, you guys aren't gonna put this down upside down. You know it's not supposed to be upside down. So got the decals done. I only cut up one of these decals up here, and that was this one right here. I just didn't feel comfortable putting it on as one solid piece, so it's two. But these huge decals over here I did put on as one solid piece. It took a little time and patience, but I was able to get them on. A couple coats of Microsol, and it turned out fine. They sunk right into those grid lines. I didn't think these 4 decals are on the bridge were going to sink in, and they look beautiful. I also got all the pendants on. I really love the pendants here. The biggest problem I had with the decals was this decal right here, was the pendant that goes along the side. That is a molded detail, and the decal goes over it. So if you're going to put the decal on and not paint that, sand that off. Just get rid of it, because this is one heck of a complex surface for this decal to go around. Even with Microsol, kind of fudged it a little bit up here. It didn't quite work out, but other than that, the decals were just fine. So let's crank this puppy up. As you can see, all the lights are lighting. We got our bassards bassarding. We do not have our flashes flashing though, because the board is right here. See this little guy? This is the board. I was having problems. I don't know how. Every step I took, even small steps, I tested the lights. I tested them on the 9-volt. Sometimes I would even wire them into the 12-volt adapter I have, and I have no clue how this happened, but there was a flashing going on in here. I don't know if it somehow got crossed with one of the strips in here, or if this thing wasn't light blocked properly, but it was flashing this. It was flashing all my windows. It was flashing the sensor dome underneath here. So I was in the process of rewiring it, because I was wanted to figure out what was going on, and one of the wires was brittle and coming from the ship, and it busted off about that far away from the rod here. And it was at that point I said I'm going to cut my losses and just wire everything together. I didn't want to lose either my mains or my nav lights, so I just wired it together. Apologies to SDM. I will be using this later. So looking pretty nice, all our lights. I do really love the Bassard collector. Let's turn this light off. Let's get some dark in the situation. Yeah, I love those Bassards. I love how those turned out. That was my first foray into doing any kind of advanced, I guess, animation with this thing. You can see the fan blades underneath them. I also love that. Our beauty lights are lighting up where they should. It's again, this light you can't really tell, but this is lighting up this registry down here. I have my photon torpedoes up here in red. We have this. There is a light coming onto here. Again, it's difficult to see in this light. It's in the middle of the day, so have our red light. You can see our little light on the neck there, actually making lights up the back here pretty well. Actually lights up the impulse deck. Got our impulse engines. You can see the light on the pylons. Have our fantail. I am so glad I did that fantail. That looks super cool, you guys. Fortunately, I lost the decal because I kind of wanted to put the decal on top, but I lost it. We have our engine lights, Mr. Upside Down and Mr. Right Side Up. We have our grills grilling away back there. They look great. In the dark, you can see the pylons lit up. So, yeah, this turned out great, guys. I love this model, and whatever level of modeling you decide to do on this, you cannot go wrong. It is a gorgeous. I'm more in love with the design of the ship than, you know, the lighting or the Aztecs. That's frosting on the cake for me. I would have built this any sort of way because the design is just gorgeous. I love how the designer took aspects of almost every Enterprise out there and put them into this original series package. Beautiful design, beautiful ship. So, with that said, I am gonna call it done, and we'll be back next week with something new. I'm going to do a couple of beauty shots in pretty much dark so you guys can actually see the beauty lights, and that will be it for this build. Thank everyone for watching, and thank all my new subs. I will see you guys in a little bit. Everyone out there, take care. Have a great day.